Hello everyone, my name is Deckerlink, the trained unprofessional, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. On the last episode, we had a bit of a confrontation with a bit of our friends who were saying that we need to take tennis a little more seriously. And on this one, we have walked away from the table, upset, gone to the roof to have a bit of moment of self-contemplation. So, let us do this. Let us do this. Let us do this, shall we? Yes. The warm spring air is comfortable. A quiet breeze ruffles through my fur every now and again. Of course. I'm just sitting on the floor, looking up at the clouds as they pass by. Even though the sky is so clear, my mood right now is tempestuous. That's a fucking word and a half. The sound of the door wakes me up from my daze. I guess I've been lost in thought for a while. This can't be a teacher. Lunch break ended a few minutes ago. Everyone should be in their classes right now. Shoichi, then? I hear the sound of footsteps. It can't be Shoichi. He knows I like to hide behind the vent. He'd have come straight here. Whoever it is, this person is wandering around as if looking for something. Ah! I instantly recognize that voice. It's June! I look to my side and I see June looking over at me with worry. He freezes in his spot for a couple of seconds before finally taking a few slow steps towards me. What are you doing here? You should be in class. I look away. Yeah, well, so should you. June sits down on the floor next to me, turning to look at the sky as I am doing. I don't really feel like going to class right now. I get the feeling I'd just space out for the rest of the day. We sit in silence for a couple of minutes. I glance at June's profile every now and then to see him with a complicated look on his face, struggling to find words. Eventually, he manages to find them. I don't really know what has been going on. I haven't known you guys that long. I get the feeling that that's not the kind of discussion you should have had right in front of an outsider like me. You're not an outsider. I am! But that's not what I came here to talk to you about. June sighs, staring at his feet with pursed lips. I don't even know what I want to talk to you about. I didn't really think this through. I just got the feeling that I needed to say something. I thought maybe you'd come to me when I saw you. Oh, look at me, I'm rambling. Sorry, June-kun. I'm not in a very good mood right now. Could you get to the point? I don't really understand the argument you guys were having, but it seems serious. I guess it just doesn't sit well with me. I can sort of understand. They basically said you haven't been working your best lately, and I can see how that'd be upsetting, but is it really that bad? I look over at June again, expecting to see a contemptuous look on his face. Instead, all I see is curiosity and worry. Damn it, he's too pure. I don't really talk about it much nowadays, but what Shoichi said is true. Up until junior high, I used to be known as the #1 player in my age group. Even then, sports critics were already labeling me as the next Japanese star. I had countless practice partners from all over the country, a multitude of coaches wanting to work with me, tons of companies wanting to sponsor me. I had everything. I also had this particular rival, Takagi Tanabe. Back then, he was only 6th in the national rank, but he was climbing fast. We had met for the first time a year before we played each other for the first time. It was a lopsided win for me. But when we met again in the next tournament, it wasn't as easy. I got the win, but it was difficult, and I got really happy about it. All the other players in my age group weren't nearly in the same level as me. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but it's true. I'd gone undefeated for over 4 years. Eventually, I got in touch with Takagi, and we started a friendly rivalry. Takagi was from the south, and Hayes from the north. It was just like the sort of thing you'd see in shonen manga. You have no idea how happy I was. We talked to each other frequently, shared details about our training schedule, and eventually talked about our personal lives. He was my first tennis friend in a long time. What about Michimiya? What the fuck? Michimiya-san. Can't help but smile a bit. Say is nice, but she's a girl. We don't play in the same category, so there's no sense of rivalry between us. It's just not the same. Anyway, back then, I got used to all the attention. I get used to being called the best, and eventually, I led myself to believe the same. I thought I was the best player in Japan, and that no one could ever get in my way. During the U15 national tournament in my second year, I got matched up with Takagi again. I think that was our 4th or 5th match. Didn't quite remember. I was feeling a little bit nervous because every time I played against him, he seemed to be so much better than the previous time. I saw him clawing his way towards me, and frankly, that terrified me. But still, I convinced myself that there was no way I could lose, and that was that. I went into the match 100% sure I'd win, and what do you think? I lost. I lost big time. It was down to the wire between us. We were already at a tie break in the end of the final set. The match had gone for over 4 hours. We were both exhausted. I caved first. I couldn't keep up the pace, and Takagi managed to steal the win away from me. I was upset, but I convinced myself it was just a stroke of bad luck. Sports magazines, on the other hand, didn't seem to think so. A bunch of articles were printed out. I still remember the headline on one of them. "Is this the end? Rutherford Hayes finally beaten." Frankly, I think it's a little sick how much attention they were drawing to a bunch of 15-year-old wannabe athletes, but I guess that's the kind of crap that sells. From then on, Takagi and I matched up against each other a handful of times in my senior year. I got defeated every time, and each time we played against each other, the difference just increased. I broke. You have no idea how shaken up I was. I completely lost confidence in myself. My practice started to suffer, and I started to decline. Suddenly, I couldn't feel confident in the court anymore. My play became sloppy. I started to lose to players who had never even gotten close to my level before. That was the end of it. Child stars, no more. I was officially considered a thing of the past. I cut off my contact with all those fancy things I had. Sponsors, coaches, clubs, partners, everything. Hell, even my school life started to suffer. Can you believe that? Can you believe that back in my day, I used to tutor Shoichi? I was an honor student, straight A, student council, all of that. I was stuck in a rut. I've barely improved anything since the end of my last year of junior high. It took everything I had to desperately hold on to the number 2 spot. But each and every time, the difference between me and him continued to widen, and the other players in my age group started to get closer and closer. I can't confidently say that I could go pro the way that I am right now. And Shuichi was right. Completely, 100% right about everything. It's just, I've been turning a blind eye to it for a long time. It's just so miserable having to acknowledge it. I shouldn't have gotten mad at them. I suppose I wasn't ready to get the truth thrown in my face like that. I sigh, staring up at the sky. I really am pathetic. I don't think so at all. If it's affected you that much, then that just means it's very important to you. There's nothing shameful about that. I believe that as long as you truly love what you do, there's nothing wrong with being depressed after being knocked down. There's nothing wrong with that. June stands there, breathing heavily for a few seconds. I myself am completely caught in a daze. Did I just get yelled at by June? What? No, I'm sorry. I just... What is it? It's just ha ha ha. Gah. Oh wow, I must be really annoying him right now. No, seriously, I'm sorry. Man, I haven't laughed like that in a while. I'm really sorry, June. I wasn't laughing at you, I promise. It's just, man, if even you're snapping at me, then I guess I really overdid it, huh? What's that supposed to mean? I mean nothing by it, I promise. Thanks a lot, June. I guess I really needed to hear that. I placed my hand on top of his head, patting him lightly. This time his entire face goes red, all the way to the tip of his ears. It was nothing. I just really wanted to help you, so... He turns to stare down at his own 2 feet, too embarrassed to even look at my face. His ears keep twitching. And yet, he never moves away from my hand. I look up at the sky and take a deep breath, getting up on my feet and dusting myself. Alright, I guess I've made up my mind. Huh? About what? I can't erase all the doubts I've accumulated in the past few years, nor can I recover my confidence in the blink of an eye. But guess it can't be worse than not trying. I mutter, more to myself than anyone else. June stares at me with a confused look. When I think about it, I can't help but smile. I guess I really do have great friends. I'm standing in front of the classroom at the second year's floor, waiting for a certain someone to come out. Even though class has ended, he has yet to leave his classroom. A bunch of second years are gathered at the doors, looking at me and whispering. Because it really is uncommon for a third-year student to be here for so long. I recognize a few faces from the tennis club. As they pass me by, they all greet me politely. Then I see him coming out. He stops at the door and stares straight at me with a look of surprise. He half jogs in my direction, his tennis bag across his shoulder. Good, he brought his gear. Rutherford, son, what are you doing on our floor? I've been waiting for you. You're free today, right? With today's practice cancelled, yeah, I am. Why? You're coming with me. Let's go. What? You can't just expect me to follow you around. And yet, that's exactly what he does. We go down the stairs all the way to the entrance. Even though Kei-kun protests a little, he doesn't actually disagree with me or stop following me. In that regard, he's a very passive person. He really should try asserting himself more. Rutherford-san, at least tell me where you want to take me. We're gonna have a match, you and I. What? Keisuke freezes on the spot, stunned. Are you serious? Yeah, think of it as a formal challenge, if you will. As I start heading out, Kei-kun runs around me, cutting me off. Wait! He stares at me, his eyes inspecting my face for any missing details. Kei-kun, your expression is really scary right now. What brought this on? He's still doubting me? Can't say that I blame him. I have avoided doing exactly this since he first joined our club. He used to ask me for matches all the time when he was a first year. Guess there's no harm in explaining it. I'm turning you into my proxy for Tanabe. You'll be my practice partner from now on. You got no problems with that, I assume? Not at all. Good. I've already booked a court for us at a nearby club. Our appointed time starts in half an hour, so we better hurry. Keisuke nods, walking next to me with renewed vigor. Alright, time to look alive. We managed to arrive at the club with a couple of minutes to spare. Not wanting to waste a single second of our allotted time, we both get changed as quickly as we can. Ah, there you are. What? Shuichi and June are sitting down on one of the benches, looking at us with expectation. Shuichi, what are you doing here? Junku told me about you had a match today, so I came by to watch. Figured you guys could use an umpire. Didn't you say you were terribly busy? How did you take time off or come over to here today? What? I never missed one of your official matches, and I'm not about to start now. This guy is a headache at times. This isn't even an official match, you know. Rutherford, son, I'm already warming up. Hurry up. Right, coming. I set my bag down next to one of the benches, grab a racket, and quickly make my way to the courts. We do some light stretches, followed by a couple of minutes of just hitting the ball to each other. Okay, no issue so far. Looking over to the side, I see that Shuichi has already taken his seat at the umpire chair. Jun is also watching us intently from his seat on the bench I picked for myself. I wasn't really counting on an audience, you know. Rutherford-san, how do you want to decide who takes the first serve? We both approach the net so we can talk about the details. How about you just toss a coin? Just as I say that, Shuichi grabs a coin from his pocket and tosses it at me. I snatch it in the air. Wacha! Thanks. You alright with this, Kei-kun? I'm fine. Toss. Kei-kun's already switched to go mode. I flip the coin, and as it's in the air, I call... Tails. Fuck it. Tails. Catch the coin in the air and place it on top of my hand. Keikun peers at it, trying to see the result. It's heads. Fuck that. We are a serving machine. We're heads. Alright, you get to choose. You get to choose. You know how I work. I'll take the first serve. All the better for me. I'll take this side of the court. He wanted to be receiving. Something tells me that he's got something sly prepared. I'm not going to like this one bit, am I? We go to our positions and prepare ourselves to start. Alright, starting now. 3-set match. Rutherford is on the serve. Alright, no point in dwelling on my concerns right now. So he's wanted to receive from the beginning. So what? I just use my superior power to crush him. I bounce the ball on the ground a couple of times. 4 is my magic number. Checking my strings, tying my shoes, bouncing 4 times before serving. Because I can't escape from my habits. As soon as I'm prepared, I take a deep breath. Let's start at full gear. I toss the ball into the air, hitting the fast serve to the center of the court. From the get-go, this is already one of my fastest serves yet. Keisuke is unfazed, dashing to the ball before it barely left my racket. His return is a bit shallow, but the positioning couldn't be more perfect. He's returned the ball squarely to the outside of the court, forcing me to run for it. Yup. From the very beginning, he's already being mindful of my favorite spots and angles. He sent the ball back to me in a way I can't just hit it hard. He's trying to avoid a contest of power. Keikun reaches my ball. Like last time, he doesn't seem to be at all on edge. He's taking everything at his own pace. He slices the ball back to me. Because of the low bounce, I can't hit it the way I'm accustomed to. So annoying. We are quickly locked in a battle of ground strokes, but this time he absolutely doesn't waver. He's different somehow. Being more mindful of my strong suits and is playing to his own strengths. Instead of trying to rush the point and finish it fast, he's slowly but surely trying to grind me out of it. So I guess in that sense, it's still the same as always. And yet, what's this feeling of unease? Suddenly, Keisuke hits a high-arcing lob. Why would he send a lob over there? Crap, I hesitate for a second due to my surprise. I just barely managed to return his shot. But I'm not in a good position anymore. If he tries to settle it here, maybe he could. So start running to the other side of the court to stop a potential winner. He hits that drop shot. What? I run as fast as I can, reaching the ball in the nick of time. But my posture is thrown out of whack. Even after I hit the ball, I can't readjust myself to start running again fast enough. Crap, if he returns the power ball now... He lobs the ball back to baseline? Crap! Again, I'm running at top gear to keep myself in the game. What is Keisuke doing? Doesn't he know he had a perfect chance to take the point just now? Holy shit, there's us on screen. Wow, we haven't seen that shit in a while. Let's save that for the possible thumbnail. God damn. Rutherford and Urashihara have been stuck on that rally for a while now. I've lost count of how long it is already. Are we in the mind of Shoichi now? Damn that Urashihara, he's picked up a few new tricks, hasn't he? What's Urashihara-san doing? Even I can tell that he could have already scored the point by now. I was so absorbed watching the match that I didn't see Junkun approaching me. He's making Rutherford run, but not just diagonally. He's also forcing him to go up and down the net. Come on, Rutherford, he's playing. You fucking notice it already. Stuck without knowing what to do, Rutherford just keeps hitting the ball as hard as he can, trying to power his way through. Instead of going for a winner here, he's trying to win on the long run. He's playing to tire Rutherford out. And of course, the idiot doesn't notice this, so he just keeps playing at top gear without a care for his stamina. So, this is bad, right? Yeah. He's forced Rutherford out onto a corner and is now just applying enough pressure to keep him pinned down, without actually winning the point. And even if he makes a mistake and loses the point, it doesn't matter, because he's still accumulating an advantage in the long run. The match has barely even started and it's already on the fucking worst case scenario. Urashihara is sending out mixes of deep and shallow shots. Instead of his already vast repertoire of spins and strings, he's now added depth as well. He's taken advantage of the entire court to keep control of the pace. This is the concept of his style. This is the concept of his style completely actualized. Yeah. Rutherford sends a power ball into the corner of the court, trying as hard as possible to keep himself in the game. Come on, Rutherford, you have to have noticed by now. How dense can you be? This isn't the Rutherford that I know. Stop messing around. Show them why you were Japan's #1 player already. Shit, I feel like my legs are on fire. How long has this rally even dragged on for? It feels like it's been forever. Keikun was repealing every one of my shots. I'm completely unable to mount an offense. When I think I finally have some momentum going, he returns an unexpected shot that completely breaks my rhythm. Yet, why hasn't he tried to score yet? No matter how I look at it, this is just too strange. He's had many opportunities and he has yet to take the plunge. Is he afraid I'll be able to counter it? It would make sense if he overcommits that he could give me a chance to counterattack. But even then, this is just too familiar. Why does this playstyle remind me of someone else? Oh, I want. Doesn't feel like I'm playing against Keikun anymore. It's similar to how he's always played, and yet it's different. He started to employ many more angled shots. He's not focusing only on different spins. He's now using sharp angles to force me to run. He's trying to reduce my offensive space so I won't have enough time to swing. He's cornering me by locking my power shots away from me. Locked in this endless back and forth, I decide to try something I usually wouldn't do and try to break the stalemate. I launch a drop shot to try to break his rhythm. Even if it's a little bit, if his return is weak or slightly out of position, I can take advantage of it. His response is almost instantaneous. Keikun rushes to the net with the speed befitting a wild beast. I've barely had time to reposition myself when he hits a full power shot towards the open side of the court. What? This is where he decided to go for the point? Shit, I was too careless. Make a mad dash for it, but the ball has long since bounced before I'm even able to close it. Out 15-0. His eyes look my way for only half a second. His expression is sharper than I've ever seen it before. That's when it hit me. Kenma Sasaki. His style is without a doubt very similar to that of Kenma Sasaki. I noticed that he paid an inordinate amount of attention to Sasaki-san when he came over to help us practice, but I never realized he was trying to learn from it. So Keikun noticed the similarities in their styles. Could it be that he's trying to copy Sasaki-san? If that's the case, then should I forget everything I know about Keikun's style and start trying to mount an offense geared against Sasaki-san? No, that'd be stupid. Even if he's trying to emulate Sasaki-san, the reality is that Keikun can't have been practicing this style for long. He shouldn't be too familiar with it, which means it'd be easy for him to return to his ordinary style. Right now, I need more information. Let's see. How can I be sure that he's emulating Sasaki-san's style? Whoa, what the fuck? Western grip, a type of tennis grip created to impart increased topspin into shots, but it's hard to come for long periods of time. That's right, Sasaki-san tended to favor the Western grip much more than the others. As far as I can recall, Keikun never used a Western grip before. He's always favored the Continental grip, only switching to an Eastern grip when he wanted to shoot a stronger ball. I'll try to keep the rally going whilst keeping an eye on his grip. It should let me know whether he's copying Sasaki-san or not. I want to keep the rally going for as long as possible. But I also don't want to pass up an opportunity to score the point. Right now, I'm going to aim for an ace. If Keikun manages to reach it, take it from there. I'll keep it simple. No complicated tactics or plays, just play to my own style. If a flat serve to the center didn't work, how about this wide slice? Despite losing its speed, I'll make sure my shot more than makes up for it in spin and placement. Absolutely won't lose to a guy my age when it comes to my serve. Keikun misjudged the timing of the ball, barely managing to block it. His return is both slow and shallow. This is my chance to go for it. What? I can hear Keikun's surprised voice as I dash forward, abandoning the baseline. I just can't let a chance like this pass, so I'm seizing the initiative. Victory goes to the swiftest. I reach the ball just after it bounces. Before it starts dropping for the second time, I let my body's momentum carry it into my swing, trying to put as much power into my shot as I can. I don't have time to stop moving and stabilize my body, so I just do my best to hit it in the air. A jump shot! Precision doesn't matter, just be careful enough so that it goes in. Go! The ball flies out of my racket with force. Keisuke stretches himself as much as he can in an attempt to reach, failing miserably. The ball hits the floor close to the line and soars into the court's protective net. What? Was it in or out? Which one was it? Look over at Shoichi, who's just sitting there, dazed. He eventually noticed my eyes on him and snaps out of it. 30-0. Yes. Wait, 30-0? I managed to securely take the point while sticking to my own style. But Keisuke got the point last time. It shouldn't be 30-0, it should be 15-15. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm very confused. Still, I won't be able to keep attacking like this so often. I was lucky that Keisuke's shot was so out of whack, but he won't hand me many opportunities like that. Still need to figure out a way to deal with his strategy, but for now, I'll just be grateful for each and every point. I didn't have much of an opportunity to keep an eye on his grip, but such things are a given. I'll just keep gathering a little bit of information at every point. We return to our regular positions. Usually, from what I've seen from K-kun over the past year, he tends to lose his cool after a point doesn't go his way, so I had hoped to take advantage of his temper like I did in the past match. But now, he's standing in place, doing breathing exercises, fiddling with his racket strings. He's resetting his mental state after every point. If I keep playing with total focus without being swayed by anger or frustration, then it's safe to say that this is going to be a lot harder than last time. As play restarts, I slow down my serve a little bit, sending a slice that bounces away from his reach. Keikun returns the ball deeply to the other side of the court. Yet again, the placement of his shots is impeccable. I hit a slice at a sharp angle, giving me more time to reposition myself. I use this extra time to keep an eye on his hands and see what type of grip he uses after he returns the serve. As he starts running to the ball, I see him changing his grip. It's a Western grip! So he has been copying Sasaki-san. He went from a style that primarily used the continental grip to one that employs the Western grip. Applying spins and controlling the ball precisely should be harder, but he does get increased power with it. Now I can see what you're doing. All that's left is to figure out a way to adjust. Keikun takes advantage of the fact that my shot brought him closer to the net and returns with a sharp angle of his own. The added power to his flat shot allowed him to clutch the point right then and there. 30-15. Normally Keikun would do a fist pump or something else after winning a point. This time he simply wiped the sweat off his brow and got back into position. Damn it, it's hard not to visualize Sasaki-san when Keikun plays like this. Let's see, what am I gonna do to deal with that? If I know he's playing like Sasaki-san, then should I develop countermeasures to deal with that? But what if he just switches back to his own style? This line of thought won't get me anywhere. For now, I'll focus on dealing with his forehand slice. So far, it's been the most common shot of his. I'll try to keep the ball pinned to his backhand, and it'll work from there. Once again, I take a deep breath. The excess tension go out with my breathing. Once I serve, I let the energy transfer from the bottom of my feet to the tip of my fingers. Move like a whip. I send a serve full of topspin to the side of his backhand. He shouldn't have time to pivot around the ball, and his point of impact should be slightly elevated. For now, I'll focus on disrupting his swing. As expected of him, Keikun doesn't seem at all fazed by returning a deep slice to the other side of the court. But this ball wasn't nearly as powerful as the deep as last shots. Alright, this might just work. I return another topspin heavy shot to his backhand. After he reaches, Keikun can't return comfortably. Alright, just like I thought. The shot wasn't at all too powerful. I can certainly take advantage of that. His forehand slice is the crux of his current play style. If I can keep him from using it like he wants to, I can force him to reduce the power of his shots in order to keep his control steady. Right now, I'm forcing him to choose between power and control. Now that I have more time to respond to his shots, he can't corner me as easily. Once we're again locked in a rally, but once again locked in a rally, but this time I have the upper hand. I'll slowly but surely grind him out until gah! Keikun desperately reaches for the ball that is out of reach. The ball hits the protective net with a resounding wham. 40-15. Yes. I pump a fist into the year. Jesus, letting out an excited cry. I try focusing my view on Keisuke's face to see if he's at all affected by his temper. He's now back at the baseline doing stretches. Breathing exercises and stretches. Huh? He definitely is trying to keep his temper under control. The idea of a perpetually calm Keikun is terrifying. Let's see. So as long as I can pin his forehand down, I'll have an easier time dealing with his spin shots. At the same time, I don't expect him to let himself be gimped by his backhand. This is Keikun I'm talking about after all. You should know more than anyone that his backhand isn't as good as his forehand. If that's the case, I'm sure he has a countermeasure for that already. Now, trying to predict what he'll do next is meaningless. I'll just take this one step at a time. I'll respond to whatever changes he makes to his playstyle without having to make any major changes to my own game unless I have a reason to. 15 seconds. Shoichi's voice snaps me back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. That's right, I have to serve now. I'm gonna focus on the point for now. Leave all the thinking for later. I go with a powerful flat serve towards his backhand. Keikun immediately responds with a deep slice. As I expected, he's prioritizing control over power. He's dishing out weaker shots in favor of making sure the placement is on point. I can reach it without much trouble. Let's see, what do I do now? I'll just go with a topspin heavy shot to the open court. My style might be very unorthodox, but I'm confident in my power balls. Power balls! Keikun seems to be suffering under the pressure of my shots. It seems that he's giving his all just to block my shots and return them. As the rally keeps going, his shots become weaker and weaker whilst I keep ramping up the power on mine. This goes on until Keikun's posture crumbles under the constantly increasing tempo of the rally until he eventually loses his footing, hitting a ball towards the net and falling to the floor. Game, Rutherford, 1-0. Shit, are you okay? Keisuke gets up, waving me off. I'm fine. Focus on your game. As we move over to switch sides, I notice Keisuke's eyes are completely unfocused as he walks past me. I glance back at his after we pass each other and notice that he's mumbling something to himself. Is he already so focused that he doesn't even notice me? Jeez, that's scary. Once we're in position, he takes hold of the ball, bouncing it on the floor a couple of times. As soon as we lock eyes, I feel a shiver crawling up my spine. My entire body immediately tenses up. Keisuke tosses the ball onto the air, his entire body moving quickly to hit his serve. The sound of the ball hitting his racket resounds loudly. I start running as soon as I identify its course. So it's just a regular topspin shot? So I was worrying over nothing. I prepare myself to hit the ball after it bounces, and his serve suddenly sinks much faster than I expected. I have to move at the last second to hit the ball. My ball goes straight into the net. Huh? I stand around rooted to my spot in a daze. Did that really just happen? His serve suddenly dropped out of nowhere. I try looking over at Shoichi to see if he can give me any confirmation of what I just saw, but I only see him gaping in his seat, completely at a loss. Hey, if you're gonna ref, give the call. Net, 15-0. He's as lost as I am right now. What on earth was that? That wasn't a regular topspin serve. No way it could be. His serve wasn't anything like this up until last week. How did he suddenly increase the amount of spin on it so fast? This isn't anything I've seen Sasaki-san doing. So he's adding original techniques to the one he's copied. Nothing makes sense anymore. Try to shake it off. I need to get my mind back on the game. Focus! Once again, Keisuke sets himself up to serve, tossing the ball into the air. I keep a close eye on the ball. Is it the rapidly sinking topspin shot again? There it is. The ball suddenly sinks one more time. I try getting myself at a position I judge to be the ideal to return. My return immediately flies into the net one more time. What? No way, I can't accurately judge how this shot works. So it not only sinks faster, but it also bounces even higher than a regular topspin serve? But his posture doesn't look at all different from a normal topspin shot, then why? 30-0. Keisuke strikes a quick fist pump and returns his next serve position. Jeez, what a muted reaction. How is he staying so stoic? That's completely unlike him. Crap, he's reminding me more and more of Sasaki-san. I need to find a way to deal with that super topspin serve before it deals irreversible damage. Once more, Keikun prepares himself to serve. I visualize that drop and the increased bounce of his serve multiple times in my head, trying to grasp the timing to hit the ball. Keikun serves the ball and I dash to intercept. My racket strikes air. The ball flies past me, going below my racket as my swing hits absolutely nothing. I see Keikun chuckling on the other side of the court, and as I look to the side, I see both Shoichi and Jun are doing the same. Shoichi attempts to cover up his laughter without much success. 40-0. I feel my cheeks begin to flush. God, I was so focused on stopping that super topspin serve that I completely forgot he didn't have to use it in the first place. I'm getting completely swallowed up by his pace. I hit my cheeks a few times. The sound of flesh hitting flesh echoes, making everyone jump slightly. I take deep breaths, doing a few stretches to calm my mind. Now, if Keikun is copying Sasaki-san, then I'll just copy Keikun and take my time and try to reset my mind state. Losing to my opponent is one thing, but I absolutely refuse to lose myself. Even though that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years. Wait till I get myself down. No, shake it off. I'm doing this match precisely so I can shake away this slump I've gotten myself into. Don't throw in the towel before you've got a chance to actually fight, you idiot. This time I pay closer attention to Keikun's movements leading up to his serve. A slice. Don't let myself fall for this same mistake again, correcting my timing so I can properly return his serve. I've gotten that out of my way. I can once again focus on my strategy to pin down his forehand. Aim towards the backhand. The ball soars past the net, hitting a strong shot that bounces high up towards his backhand slice. While that alone isn't going to be enough to make him lose his footing, if I can at least nullify his advantage, he won't have as easy a time as scoring. Keikun returns another slice, trying to keep me from getting to my sweet spot. It's just a mild annoyance. As long as I can keep those sharp spins from coming out, he just goes back to being the same player he was before, and that player didn't give me any trouble last time. As our rally continues, I slowly grind an advantage. I don't like dragging the points like this, but I also can't let myself lose patience and try going for a winner that isn't there. For now, I'll just keep doing things steady until there's an opportunity to clinch the point. Keikun goes for a sudden break in his pattern, launching a sudden flat shot, aiming for an open space of the court. No, you won't. Unfortunately for him, I'm still able to make it in time. A single flat shot isn't going to be enough to score on me, especially from that position. Crap, my aim wasn't as good as this time, but this is what he was going for. Shit, he rotated the ball. He's gonna hit a forehand shot. Ready for that sharp slice. Don't let him steal the advantage. Suddenly, Keikun hits a strong topspin shot towards the other side of the court. What? He had a chance to try and resume his game plan, and he chose to ignore it? What's he thinking? I run to the ball, getting ready to hit it after it bounces. But the ball suddenly drops. Shit, it hits the same topspin shot from before. I somehow managed to reach the ball despite the sudden drop, but I lose my standing because of the increased rise on it. My shot ends out of bounds. Game Shiharu, game count 1-1. Shit, so his serve isn't the only time he can hit that sort of shot. Crap, he's still hiding a few weapons down his sleeve. Looks like he can only hit that sort of topspin heavy shot using his forehand. Maybe he doesn't know how to hit it on his backhand, or maybe he just isn't confident on it. Never mind that, I'm sure he's just trying to keep me guessing. I'll just have to get used to it before it becomes a huge problem. I won't make any changes to my strategy to accommodate it, but I'll be aware of it being a possibility. I guess that now more than ever I need to keep his forehand in check. Let's see, what sort of serve should I use? He doesn't seem to be reacting to any differently to either of my serves, so I guess I'd have to try something I haven't used before. Okay, then let's give this a try. I toss the ball in the air, and how does he hit it? We'll see in the next one. Thank you all very much for watching this episode of Tennis Ace. I hate to cut it in the middle of a game like this, but this episode's gone long enough as it is. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been the trained up professional speaking to the voices in my head when I say, fare thee well. Bye, everyone!